Is this modern freedom or broken responsibility? Because when people talk about relationships, fatherhood, and modern masculinity, few names trigger more debate than Nick Cannon. A successful entertainer, a media personality, a businessman, but also a man at the center of one of the most controversial modern family structures in entertainment. And the question the internet keeps asking is simple. Is this a new version of family freedom or a breakdown of responsibility? At the peak of his career, Nick Cannon was already known as a multi-talented entertainer, television host, comedian, producer, and entrepreneur. But over time, his personal life became even more talked about than his career. As news of multiple children with different mothers became public knowledge, the conversation around him shifted completely. He was no longer just seen as a celebrity. He became a symbol of modern relationships, modern fatherhood, and modern choices that challenge traditional expectations. And in that shift, society became divided. Some people admired the openness and confidence. Others questioned the structure, responsibility, and emotional impact behind it. The internet doesn't stay neutral for long. Once the details of his expanding family structure became widely known, debates erupted across social media. Some argued that he was redefining fatherhood on his own terms. Others argued that fatherhood requires more than presence. It requires consistency, structure, and emotional stability. And in between those extremes, there was confusion. Because this wasn't a simple scandal. It wasn't a breakup. It wasn't a cheating story. It was something more complex. A modern lifestyle choice that challenged traditional relationship norms. And that's what made it so controversial. The biggest debate surrounding Nick Cannon is not just about relationships. It's about structure. In traditional society, family structure is usually defined by consistency, shared household stability, and long-term partnership. But in this case, the structure is different. Multiple households, multiple co-parenting arrangements, multiple emotional dynamics happening at the same time. Some people call this modern polygamy. Others reject that label completely and say it is something else entirely. But regardless of terminology, the reality remains the same. This is a non-traditional family structure operating in the public eye. And when something like that becomes public, it stops being private life. It becomes a cultural debate. One of the most emotionally charged parts of this conversation is fatherhood. Because society often defines fatherhood in two ways: presence and responsibility. Being present means showing up. But responsibility goes deeper. It includes emotional consistency, guidance, structure, and long-term involvement. And this is where opinions split sharply. Supporters argue that he is actively involved in his children's lives and financially responsible. Critics argue that fatherhood is more than resources. It is about unified structure and emotional continuity. And this creates a deeper question. Can fatherhood be fully effective when it is distributed across multiple households and different family environments? There is no simple answer. But the debate itself reveals something important about modern society. We are still trying to define what family means in a changing world. At the center of this entire discussion is a tension between two ideas: freedom and consequence. On one side, people believe adults should have the freedom to build relationships and families in ways that suit their personal beliefs. On the other side, people believe that freedom without structure can lead to emotional complexity, confusion, and long-term instability. And when both sides collide, it creates controversy. Because Nick Cannon is not just a person in this debate. He has become a symbol of it. A real-life example used in arguments about masculinity, responsibility, modern relationships, and lifestyle choices. But what is often missing in these debates is the human layer. Because behind every public opinion are real children, real mothers, real emotional dynamics that are not always visible to the internet. And that is what makes this topic so sensitive. Over time, this story stopped being just about one individual. It became part of a wider cultural conversation about how relationships are changing. Social media began using it as a reference point in debates about dating standards, family structure, and modern masculinity. And whether people agree or disagree, one thing is clear. This situation forced people to confront uncomfortable questions about modern life. What does commitment mean today? What does responsibility look like in non-traditional families? And who gets to define what is right or wrong in personal relationships? So here's the question that divides opinions everywhere. Is this a new form of modern family freedom, or a structure that creates more emotional responsibility than it can handle? And more importantly, can a man truly balance multiple families equally without something being affected? And what most people don't realize is that this debate is far bigger than one celebrity, because it reflects a shift happening in society right now. And in the next video, we'll break down another celebrity relationship that shows just how complicated modern love has become when traditional rules no longer apply. Because in today's world, relationships are no longer just private decisions. They are public debates,